Hi, I'm here with Ben Jones from Oberlin College, and we're both first-timers to the CASE conference. So tell me a little bit about your role at Oberlin.
So I am the Vice President for Communications. I oversee everything related to communications, including social media. But my background is mostly in social media before I went to take over everything. So for me, this has been a wonderful way to sort of step back into the really advanced thought related to social media, as opposed to having to think about it in the spectrum of everything going on.
And so you're finding the topics at the conference to be at that more advanced level?
Absolutely. I would absolutely recommend this for folks who have been doing this for a while. You know, often you go to a conference and you think, oh, there's not going to be that much new information for me, but this is definitely different. I'm learning a lot. It's giving me a lot to think about, a lot of things to take home and really focus on.
And I notice you've been very active on the back channel, even with some of your colleagues that are back on campus. Can you talk a little bit about how that experience is influencing the overall conference experience?
Absolutely. Well, the back channel, for folks who might not know what the back channel is in this case, it's a Twitter hashtag, which is hashtag CASE SMC for Social Media Conference. And anything tagged with the hashtag shows up in this little thing that I have running. And it's a way for me to see the commentary from everyone else attending the conference. And some of it is sort of witty banter. Other stuff is just repurposing what's being said so that folks watching at home can understand what's going on. For me, it's been a way to communicate with my social media coordinator at Oberlin, who is not here, but who attended in previous years, and is very jealous that I'm here and she's not. So we've been trying to keep her in the loop. But also, to be honest, the back channel is my way of taking notes, so that when I go back to Oberlin and give my staff and also the senior administration a sort of snapshot of what I've been doing here, it's much easier to retweet the notes that other people are taking than it is to write them down myself.
Sure. And some things, I think people are sharing resources and reinterpreting things that speakers are sharing based on their own experiences, so that I think is really enriching. But can you talk a little bit about just, what I've noticed on the back channel are some conversations about trying to explain what's happening here to maybe their own vice president back on campus.
Absolutely.
So being in the role here, would you have any advice for those folks?
Absolutely. Well, for one thing, I would encourage them to try to get the folks like me to attend this conference. It's a wonderful window into what really goes on. I think that I'm fortunate because I came from a social media background and sort of sold Oberlin on my expertise in social media to get the vice president job, which I credit Oberlin for. It's sort of not a traditional background to come into this role.
Right.
But so many other people are coming from more traditional communications backgrounds, and they see social media on one end of the spectrum as a fad that's going to go away, and even if they give it some merit, they think that it's this sort of siloed thing that is not really integrated with the rest of the operation. And what this conference would do is it would really help folks understand how social media should be integrated, why it shouldn't be siloed. So I would definitely encourage people to tell their bosses to come see this. And also, if you've been watching the back channel, people are sort of complaining about senior administrators. They just don't get it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes from the conference is where someone said, "If you think social media is free, you don't value my time."
Yes.
And I thought that was hitting the nail on the head.
Definitely.
So if folks would come to the conference, even just as spectators, they would leave with a whole new world of information. For me personally, as a vice president, who's already obviously fully committed to social media, what it's done for me is allowed me to think about things in terms of numbers. The ROI sessions have been particularly good.
I agree.
And we're right in the budget planning process at this point in the fiscal year, and I'm thinking about the money that we're devoting to certain things related to social media relative to the money we're devoting to other things. And I'm actually starting to ask myself some questions about whether some of the decisions we've just made are the right ones. So it's been really valuable in that way.